What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rules of Villainy channel. I am Brad, aka the Mayor of Lorcana and co-host of the Rules of Villainy podcast. Generally, what you would see here on this video is a breakdown of the latest and greatest in Disney Lorcana competitive decks throughout the week of local leagues. I've kind of dropped the ball on it in the last couple weeks. It's been really, really busy. Set championships came up a lot sooner than expected, and just life in general. We've been doing a lot of new content for you guys, gameplay content, live streams, all on this channel if you want to check that out. What I decided to do today, instead of going through the local leagues, is just kind of break down the decks so far that have been winning the set championships. I have 5 different decks for you today from 5 great players. Want to celebrate their wins, and then maybe at the end of the set championship circuit here, we'll do one more video recapping all of them, and or at least the ones that we haven't seen yet, because we still have a couple more weeks of set championships. So that being said, let's get into the first deck. I do want to preface this by saying there are a few decks on here. If you are a subscriber to the channel, you've probably seen on here already, but we're going to include them on the list and celebrate them one more time in the format that I'm used to doing so here in the local meta, this time sets reports. So let's move on to that first deck. All right, and our first deck comes all the way back from July 12th at the Collector Store. The winner was Chance with Blurple, a deck that is near and dear to my heart. I've been having a lot of fun with this set. He is running a pure JDRR Blurple. If you went on Dreamborn and looked up JDRR's deck, this is what you would have seen at the time. There has been some spice added to it now, so it has evolved a little bit. So that's the problem with doing this deck report a couple weeks later. As that decks evolve, people tend to look at the meta and see what can we do to take advantage of some situations. And if you go to look at JDRR's deck now, you'll see there are some changes to it. But this is the deck that won on the 12th, a very, very standard Blurple in pure JDRR fashion, which Chance wanted me to shout out that his free Metafy is what got him this win, to understand the deck and all of the things that go into playing it. But if you know JDRR at all, it's 4 of everything. You got your turn 2 ramp with Tipo and Sail the Azurite Sea. 4 Monstros. It's more than I've ever ran in this deck, but I am not one to criticize. This is a winning deck. And yeah, you're looking for your Bell and Pop on turn 1. Hopefully, if you get the whole combo, you play Popsicle on 1 to replace itself, play Bell for free, play Tipo or Sail on 2 after Bell sings Friends on the other side, just to have a very, very healthy hand throughout the rest of the game, ramping up to turn 4, where you get another card from Genie or a lore from the Goat. In the mirror match, you're looking for the Iago because you need that evasive threat to come out there and hopefully stick if you're not playing against Steel. And that Iago comes out, has a big swing, and deals with the Iagos and Elsas and whatever other threats are on the other side of the board. And then moving up to, if you keep ramping, you got your Tamatoas to bring back Popsicles and bring back board presence, Hades for the spot removal, Monstro for the board wipe if you have a healthy enough hand, which you possibly do with Friends on the other side and Finders Keepers, to just keep readying up that Monstro with Rush and taking out whatever is exerted on their side of the board. It is a very good deck, and Chance played it to perfection that weekend. I believe, if I recall correctly, I don't know off the top of my head, I think there were 25 to 30 people in that tournament that day, which was very impressive because we hosted a 1K on the same day with over 30 people as well. So a lot of Lorcana that weekend. Congratulations to Chance for getting it done. Moving on to the next day, July 13th at Impact Gaming Center, we had Chernadogs taking it down in a field of, I think, close to 30 people as well. This was a great, great deck to follow along. We did have a live stream again that day. You can check that out on the channel. If this is familiar to you, we also clipped the final 2 games and put them in its own video on this channel and talked about this deck pretty extensively. So feel free to check that out. Therefore, I won't spend a whole lot of time on it now. If you are familiar with Chernadogs at all, you know what this deck is supposed to do, and it got the job done on Sunday by Andy, Rules of Villainy teammate member Andy of Grapes Games, and just a great showing. This deck is low to the ground, goes as fast as possible, has the protection of Ward, which came into big big plays at the end of the finals with the Prince Ward, or Prince Philip and his ward. And yeah, you got a little bit of removal with the cloud kicker, but ultimately what you're trying to do is get as much lore as quickly as possible. And I implore you, go check out the videos and enjoy it, because Chernadogs gets it done. All right, moving on to the following week at game night on July 19th, we had 33 people in the field, and another Rules of Villainy teammate member, Megan, took it down with another aggro deck. You're used to seeing Amber Steel as Steel's song, and in a way, it kind of is with the Cinderella and the removal of Let the Storm Rage On and Strength of a Raging Fire, and along came Zeus, but it is not a Steel Song deck at all. This is pure aggro. She is looking for the Cindy on turn one most of the time to deal with whatever you play on turn one yourself. But after that, it is Daisy, it is Piglet, it is the Hamster Shift, it is Vanessa if she needs to sing the Zeus on something. But then you got your Smees, your Lady, and all of those are coming down and just threatening board presence and a lot of lore very, very quickly. And then the MVP of any steel deck anymore is Pete, games referee, because as soon as you're looking at a 6 glimmer board on your side and you want to play Be Prepared, she's going to say, nah, how about we play Pete? And I just continue questing. Again, this is if this looks familiar to you, we do have a separate video. Vince and I pulled some the final two games of the day on his camera and recorded over them with some commentary. So we have talked about this deck on the channel. You've probably seen this deck all over because it is a menace. Since this set dropped, this Rhino Shift has been a problem, and Megan got it done, played to perfection at game night in a field of 33. Congratulations again to you. All right, moving on to Bodach's games on 7/26. We had Ruby Sapphire by Mitchell taking it down in a field of, I think, began with 18 players. This is most of what you're used to in the items build of Ruby Sapphire. The one thing that I do want to point out, because I did face this at game night, he did top 8 at game night the week before as well. I was surprised to see the Chicha come back. Chicha was a promo card and a rare card from a couple sets ago, where she comes out and on 2, she has support. She's a 2/1, so she is like the reverse Tipo. But anytime you ink for the second time on your turn, you get to draw a card. So there's an additional draw package in this Chicha that whenever that was played, I was like, oh, what are we dealing with here? And of course, he has his Fishbone Quills. He has other ways to ink as well, with Sail the Azurite Sea. And it felt really, really bad running Blurple into this, because as I ramped up to Hades, I knew that I was just ramping him even further to his win condition of the So Shiny Tamatoa and the Lucky Dime, which he's only running one of. But he's looking for it, and he's looking for it as quickly as possible so that he doesn't have to get rid of it. It is, or so it's not vulnerable to be get rid of, because I was running Cusco in my Blurple deck even because of this kind of deck. The workshop was a target for the Cusco, as was the Lucky Dime, which I was sure that he'd be running more than one of. But Mitchell got it done on Saturday at Bodach's games with this deck, and it is, it's good. He played it to perfection. I watched him play it very well the week before. I wasn't there to see him play it yesterday, but I'm not surprised he took it all the way to the finals and got it done. So congratulations to Mitchell. And finally, perhaps my favorite deck of the week comes from Linc at Manticore Game Shop on the 26th. In a field of 16 players, he got it done with Blurple. Not only Blurple, but a version of Blurple that is probably 1 or 2 cards different than the version I've been running the past couple of weeks, and coming up so close, right on the bubble of making the top cut. But Linc got it done, and it always excites me when the younger generation, the next generation of Rules of Villainy gets the job done. I know he's excited to be on this video, and I'm excited for him. Congratulations to Linc for getting it done. If we look at the deck here, the differences that we saw from the first deck in the video is the Peter Pan package with the Iago, because I don't like the Iago coming out, especially in a very steel heavy meta, when a Storm Rage On simply takes care of a 6-body vanish character. Putting that Iago out there and getting no value out of him doesn't feel good on 4. It doesn't feel good to play Peter Pan on 3 either, because traditionally we are ramping on turn 2. But if at some point in the game you can get Peter Pan out and rush with the Iago and the Genie, even if you need a little bit of extra 2 damage, because that 4 body on the Genie keeps him alive, and the evasive protection most of the time. It does feel good to rush out with that Iago and slam into something for 4 strength. One other card I do want to point out, much to of being very divisive here at the Rules Ability and on our Discord is the Into the Unknown. I have found great success with this, especially for that shifted Rhino. If we could get Bell to sing Into the Unknown, or just even on 3, sing Into the Unknown on that Rhino. Yes, it sucks ramping the opponent to ink, but if they're playing that aggro deck, they're going to run out of cards very, very soon, especially if that Rhino isn't there to hold damage for the Rapunzel, or the Diablo gets shifted on 1 or 2 even, and you have that Into the Unknown in the hand. The Emerald decks lose their draw engine a lot faster. Yes, they get a couple extra ink, but if they're not drawing cards, they're going to be top decking, and I found great success with that there. So I'm happy to see Into the Unknown being in a set championship winning deck. You got the Hades, of course, for the spot removal. The Monstro at 2, I think, is the right move. Elsa for the Exert, the big Elsa, which I will always love. I'm hoping that gets reprinted. The Tamatoa, bringing back the Popsicles. Everything in this deck just works. I am very familiar with this deck. I could talk about it all day. I'm just so happy to see that this version of the deck got it done, and it gives me hope for the next couple weeks that I can do it myself. So thank you, Linc, for that inspiration. Congratulations to you. And that's going to do it for this video. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and the bell for notifications so you can get any kind of notification when Rules of Villainy produces content. We have the podcast proper, the local meta report when I can get to it right now, the local sets report, deck test Tuesdays, live streams. We have a couple of live streams coming up unannounced, but keep your eyes out for that. There's just so much we want to do with the channel for you guys, because we love you guys. We love the support. We love the game and everything about it. If you have any feedback or any kind of questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment in the video, join our Discord, come to our socials at Rules of Villainy. Everything will be in the description, and we would love to engage with you and just talk Disney Lorcana at any time. That being said, this is it for this video. There will be another one at the end of the entire set championship rotation where we can try to include everybody else who hasn't played yet, the tournaments that are coming up in the next couple of weeks, and would love to feature them on here. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time. Good luck in your future set championships, and happy questing.